tight against it.
So I've got quite a lot of things to do to the chipper. This bolt right here broke out. All it is a 3/8 bolt, and I drilled it real quick, put a ease out in it, and was able to back it out. Otherwise I was going to take that whole cover off right there, and I didn't want to do that. Luckily it's just I figured it just broke the head of it, because it's just a through bolt, and was able to spit it out, get it out, which it worked that way. So that was great to do that. I've got it, the safety in the yoke right there, you can see it. That's a solid bar holding the thing up. Everything's locked out on the machine right now. You can spin the drum. What is going on in here? Like I said, you still can spin the drum. Right now I don't have it locked. Alright, we're gonna move this stuff back. This plate right here is the anvil. We're gonna spin the knob around where you can see it. Okay. So you can look at the gap right there between the, I can look at it and it's way too wide. Is I'm gonna go ahead and flip these knives around, because they've got about 30 hours on them, I believe, and I'm gonna go ahead and flip them, get them on the good side, and then we will adjust that anvil. This anvil right here slides forward and backwards, and we'll do that. I'll show you how it works. And you can also flip the anvil too. So once I flip the knives around, we'll adjust the anvil if it needs it. It may not need it. We'll see what it does there. And I've got one or two other bolts on it that I need to replace. See up here, those of y'all who, that knife right there is jagged up pretty good. So when you pull this plug out of here, it completely disables the entire machine. So right there is one of those bolts. You can see they got the nuts welded on the inside there of that. So when I seen that yesterday was when I noticed it. You know, this bolt head, if it were to vibrate all the way in here, would end up inside there, which would not be a good thing at all. And that's the reason why I immediately brought it on home to get that thing out. They do have those Loctite, because I took one out to see how long it needed to be, and I seen it had Loctite on it. There's two bolts that go in, one right there, one right there. There's two over there on the other side. They're still in. It's got those crush nuts on those from underneath. They're you can see them in there. Y'all may not be able to see it, but they got the crush nuts. So I'm gonna take one of these out. I'm actually gonna take both of them out and re-Loctite them and put them back in, but I'll be able to match up another bolt on that. I'm also going to take the cover off. See, there's all that stuff for the lockout tag out there. And belts are still good. I'm gonna go ahead and tension them too, because the belts, I probably hadn't tensioned those things in, gosh, I've run it a long time this time and hadn't messed with the belts on it all, and they're not slipping or anything. So about to get after it on this dude. All right, I flipped the knives around, and you can see the gap right there. That's too wide. And the thing about a chipper is a little bit does a lot. We'll spin it on around here, the other knife. So there's 4 knives on this thing. Let's see. They say 120 thousandths in the owner's manual, but here's the thing. You run that thing up there as close as you can get that without touching it, and then call her done. That's the best thing to do. And you have to do it from up underneath it. All right, here's what's going on. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got to loosen those 5. That's what the anvil's bolted to. The anvil's on top of it. And you see you got these turnbuckle bolts right there. And you just, I'll break the jam nut loose on the back of them and run it forward. Alright, so you got them bolts on the adjuster undone. So now you're going to turn these in, and it's going to push it toward the knife. And then we got to go up and check it on top. And let me run up there and see what it looks like. It's tight against it close. One good thing about this, and so we're gonna go up at the top and look at it again up here. You can see that in there is fine. That's number 1. And so there's number 2. You see number 3. And here comes number 4. So I'll get the filler gauge, and that's going to be tighter than what they recommend, closer than what they recommend on in the owner's manual. But that's what you want. You want it to be right there. to be as close as it can without hitting. And you can tell, I mean, I can tell when they start. See, it won't go in there. So these things ain't nothing to play with, as I have found out in my experience. A lot of people has been hurt by these things, lost fingers and all that. And of course, I was checking my sheaves on my pulleys September last year, and I rolled my thumb into this one and cut the whole end of my thumb off from the nail out. I lost it, and I had to go to the ER and I had to sew it back on and all that. But you have to be paying attention on it. I'm gonna tension these belts. I'm gonna snug them up a little bit. That's gonna be the next thing that I'm about to do, and I'm gonna grease it, and then she'll be ready. I got all the bolts back in. I got the bolts in the muffler here. I went ahead and pulled the other two out on the other side and Loctited them. Replaced all that, fixed that up, and I've got the anvil adjusted. Flipped the knives over onto a good side. This side this time I didn't get about 30 hours out of, but that was 30 hard hours of chipping, because if this thing's running, it's chipping. It don't sit there and idle or anything like that. I just roll with it. You see the Loctite tripping down right there. Replace that bolt, put it back in there. I think they just had it torqued too much, I believe, and because all this does is just a shield that covers that drum in there where the knives are, and hell, that bolt just popped off. I have a new flag to go on. I need to put that on also while I'm in here. These bolts here were loose on top of the radiator cap. I took them out, Loctited them, put them back in. Those are the two right there that I fixed up on that side. One of my Strohs on the other side, lost a screw out of it. I put it back, put a new one in it, fixed it up. But in all honesty, I don't see how these things hold together. I really don't. I don't, because there's some violent stuff going on with one of these things when it's running. It's pretty crazy, and to think that they hold together as well as they do. But I will show y'all how this works. This whole engine slides forward and backwards. So you got a mounting bolt right there, and you can see the difference where the paint is not. That's how much I moved it forward. So you got one right there and one right over there. They're 15/16 headed bolts. You just break them loose, and you got one right here and one right there. And it's the same thing basically with the anvil. All you do is just, I try to do them the same, and then I'll check it. So just break them loose, turn them, and the same thing on this one. Two rounds, and then you run this one, tighten it, and it'll pull the whole engine assembly forward. This one, and then go over there and get that one. So let's see, I'll put y'all right here. Maybe you can see. We'll go straight up with it and come all the way down. Right there at the pad. I'm gonna go just a little bit more, and then we'll check the alignment on it. It's right there at it, really close. Yeah, it's pretty damn good right there. All right, we're gonna check the alignment on the sheaves here on the pulleys and make sure it's still where it's supposed to be. This is how I cut my thumb off. I want to make sure that I touch the face when I touch the back one back there, that I'm touching this one at the same time. I don't have a straight edge long enough to do it. this thing's spinning. So you got to grip it right there. You easily roll your hand right in it. Make sure that the knives are not hitting. Very good. Tighten these down. All 4 of these. This cover's kind of fun to put back on by yourself. It's not impossible, but it's also not the easiest thing to do. Sounds like it's flapping. That's when you know you've got the anvil set really good tight against it. You'll be making that sound like that.